This week's hard facts comes from you guys. On YouTube over the past few weeks, we got a question saying, how do I solicit feedback from my customers as well as my leads? And we talked a little bit about that last week in hard facts, but this week we're going to give you some tips depending on where that question falls in the spectrum for your business. So hi everyone, I'm Samantha Cunningham-Zabalinski, and this week on Hard Facts, we're going to talk about soliciting feedback both from your customers and from your leads. But let's start with your leads. So when soliciting feedback from your leads, there can be so many reasons that we're asking for that feedback, right? So is it they didn't purchase our product or our service? Is it they became unresponsive? Is it we want to know how to be better at what we do or how to better serve our customers with a next product? So let's start at that acquisition phase. So for example, when you're talking to a lead about working together, and let's say you're a service or product-based business that you need to understand specific information about them to say, hey, this is the service that best fits you, or this is the product that you really need to purchase. I recommend starting with a BANT form that represents your business and your product. So BANT stands for budget, authority, need, and timeline. So what is their budget, and can your services or which of your services fit within their budget? Do they have the authority to make the decision? So is it somebody who can say, yes, I want to purchase your product? What is their need? So specifically, what problems are they trying to solve in their business? And what is their timeline for getting started or for purchasing? So establishing all of those pieces of information is then going to allow you to provide a recommendation based on your service or your product, which is where step number 2 or question number 2 is, do you have clarity in what you're saying is your recommendation to fill that need, timeline, budget, for example. So with that, how are you proposing this information? And if you're finding here that people are dropping off in the conversation with you or people aren't purchasing, maybe that's where you want to start your questioning. And so it's about the clarity in your product or your service recommendation. So I'm talking to Barry about his business and putting a proposal together for him for my product or service to serve him. So now let's say he's becoming unresponsive in the conversation we're having, or we're going through this proposal review and I'm getting a lot of over the phone. What I need to do is engage and ask a question. So often we're afraid to ask questions because we put ourselves out there, and that's when rejection can happen. But we really should be afraid of the lack of conversation that's already happening, because that is death for our business, for our sale. So here's what you need to keep in mind. Do not ask yes or no questions. That gives us nothing to build off of. So when we're trying to solicit feedback and we're asking a question like, does that make sense? Yes, no. Usually most people don't say no because they don't want to say, hey, I don't understand something. So keep in mind asking a question where they actually have to reciprocate with additional information. Now you can build off of this. So now we have to take soliciting that feedback from our leads and solicit feedback from our customers. So here we really want to understand what our goal is in asking questions. So if we're looking to expand, for example, our product lineup and we want to know what our customers would be most likely to purchase, a survey would be a great way to ask questions. And in that survey, you could ask them, what would you be most likely to purchase next? How frequently do you purchase these products? Because if you're going into a new product line, those are going to be all things that you want to know, and why not use your existing customer base to find that out? Now, if it's customers, for example, and you're a real estate agent and you want to find out something specific about your service, like what was it that made you choose working with me? Think about ways to have that conversation that doesn't make it so much about yourself, but makes it about the partnership and relationship that you formed with that customer. So for example, here, if I sold Barry a home and I was his realtor, I would want to ask him, what was it about this whole home buying experience that was really special for you or spoke to you? And do this in a conversation so you can, again, build off of those questions. Now, again, if I'm a real estate agent, I may not want to do this right after they move into their brand new home. You may want to do it a month later. Check in with them, make sure that everything is perfect and they're enjoying their brand new house after they've settled in. So thinking about ways to make sure that you're soliciting feedback over a period of time based on what your product or your service is for your customer base. So take that as a reminder, not only solicit that feedback a month later, but be top of mind 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months, maybe even 2 years out from your experience with that customer. Be top of mind, leave an impression, because they are your best advertising, word of mouth. Chances are Barry knows somebody else who may need to buy a home. And that's what this week's Hard Facts is all about, getting that feedback and being top of mind. But if you've got a strategy or a question you need help solving, leave your comment below and we'll make sure to cover it in the upcoming Hard Facts.